All right, everybody, we are back. Search for Who, Dynasty Mir. And once again, I have the most honorable, my brother, Awini Baba. Winnie, you can hear the TV is very loud in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm watching. Hold on.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But I have my brother Awini Baba on, and we're gonna chop it up about so I know a lot of people keep asking me, Dynasty, what can I invest in Africa? What
Mhm.
can I invest in? What can I put my money towards in Africa?
Mhm.
So, uh,
Uh huh.
brother Winnie Baba is going to go over some different opportunities in agriculture. Now, me personally, I have an agricultural business degree from the University of Georgia. Uh, Graduated
Mhm.
in 2005. So, uh, that's what
Mhm.
my degree is in. So, brother Baba, you have the floor. And again, thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Mhm. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. So I want to say hi to everybody in the chat room, and it's good to be on here again. Uh, yeah. So we've been looking at investments. By the way, I'd like to give a brief background of where it is in Ghana that I'm based. I'm based in the savannah of Ghana, where most people don't come.
Are you in
Um,
Tamal or no? You're not in Tamal, are you?
yeah, I'm in Tamale.
Tamale. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Tamale.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so uh, just to make you understand the geographical situation in Ghana, there are three major belts in Ghana. There's the coastal belt, which stretches all along the coast. Okay, let me see. There are 10 regions in Ghana, and the coastal belt is made up of three of those regions: the western region, which shares a border with uh, Ivory Coast; the central region, which is in the middle, which was the first capital area of Ghana under the British until they moved it to Greater Accra. So Cape Coast is the capital city of the central region, and then Greater Accra, which is where the capital is, which shares a boundary with Togo. So we have the coastal region, which has ocean, beachfront. And then we have the middle belt, which is the forest zone, which comprises of Ashanti region, Volta region. I would even say Eastern region. Yeah, these areas, parts of Brown Hafu region. And then we have the savannah, which
Hmm.
is pretty much plain, low, flat land that is very suitable for agricultural purposes, especially the growing of uh, staple cereals such as rice and maize. So we produce a lot of food, especially these grains, especially maize and rice. We produce a lot of this in Ghana, and then the rest of the country and other people benefit from it. Uh, so just to make you understand, and I'm based in of course, the Savannah region, which is further up north, which is made up predominantly of three regions, which is the northern region, the upper west region, and the upper east region.
Hmm.
So this area is suitable for the growth of some crops,
Mm.
such as peanut. Peanut is big here.
Hmm.
Uh,
Somebody
you
in the
know,
chat room mentioned shea butter too.
Yeah, the savannah is known for shea. This is one of the crops that grows wild here. It's a wild crop, and it grows wild here. And so it's a matter of climate. It only grows in the northern region, just like cocoa only grows in the south. You see, um, yeah. So definitely, shea is one of those crops. So in terms of there are a number of agricultural investment opportunities that, a lot of our people don't want to take a risk or even make an investment, you see. And so some people end up sitting down, and other people come and make investments, and then they complain, that you know
Mm-hmm.
uh, we're not doing enough and what have you. But there are opportunities for investment, you know since somebody mentioned the share, I might as well start off with that. The share industry is huge. The potential is huge, huge, huge. Up until now, it's predominantly controlled by just local women who go into the forest and gather the share fruits that fall from the tree. So they go in the morning. Usually, it'll fall. They'll fall when they ripen. They'll fall, throughout the day. And so mostly women go early in the morning to gather these. And the share, by the way, it's a highly nutritious, fruit. The fruit is very nice. I mean, I don't know if you've tried it, Danas, but
You know,
going to Senegal.
I've never eaten it, but I use shea butter every day.
Yeah, but you should eat it. I mean, I believe it's in Senegal also. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
I know
believe, like,
it's in Mali, so I'm pretty sure it's in I would think
yeah,
Senegal too.
definitely. Like, this is the season for it. It's really, really nice. Really, really. When you eat it, it really fills you up, and it's really good. It's a good fruit. But yeah, so if you look at the share, uh, you can extract food from the fruit itself and turn it into juice, which is very, very. I don't know. I hope somebody in the chat room has tasted shea nut before. It's. I can't explain the ecstasy in the fruit. The fruit is so
No,
nice.
I love. I never drunk shea before. In fact, I never ate it, but I love BSAP. I think you guys in Ghana call BSAP supalo.
Mm, mm.
It's the
Um,
purple hibiscus. It's the purple drink.
Sobolo. Yeah.
Supalo. Yeah, I think you guys call it
Yeah,
supalo.
Sobolo.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, it's nice.
that's my favorite.
Um,
That's my. I love that.
exactly. So if you take the share and we can look at the fruits,
Hmm.
right? Fruits themselves are highly nutritious. Up until now, the fruits have not been utilized enough for the preparation of juices, because once the season is out, then you don't have any share fruit again. But um, with the necessary investments, we could produce a share fruit juice, from the shea nut tree, and it'll be off the charts.
Oh,
And
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
mhm,
Hey, I hit my mic. Go ahead.
mhm. So I believe that this could be a leading product on the world market. And the sky is the limit with this share food. And because of that, some people have decided to try to grow more share trees, and get more out of it. Uh, so that's one area that needs to be looked at. And I was hoping that through these discussions, we would have a group of diaspora Africans who would form more like again a group that would come over, not only to Ghana but other African countries,
Hmm.
and then we would take. They would be able to take samples of various agricultural products, and then we see how we can process some of them into commercial products for sale on the global market.
Mm,
You see,
mm.
so I know the expertise is out there. I know there are brothers and sisters who are in the agricultural, industry, such as yourself, which you've not, you clearly have not used your degree
I have not. I have
uh,
not.
to where you should, but you should begin to look at agro processing and how we can make that happen. So that's one aspect. The fruit alone,
Mm. We have.
has so much.
I was gonna say we have a couple.
Mhm.
Well, when you finish, we have a couple questions in the chat room. But go ahead and finish.
Yeah. So that's one aspect. And then we go to the seeds. The seeds are, the crust of the matter. That's where the oil comes from.
Mm-hmm.
The shea butter comes from the seeds that are, and they're so expensive, in these days, because they're exported and they are in virtually every single cosmetic product
Mm-hmm.
in some quantity, but they are virtually in every single, lotion or whatever you can think about, because
Mm.
of that rich property. When we were much younger, if you have a wound, all we needed was to put it on there. You have a burn, you put it on there. You put it everywhere. You put it in your hair. It really protects the skin
Mm-hmm.
against the harsh conditions. So uh, the production of shea butter from the seeds of the shea tree is a huge industry that cannot be exhausted. And I think
Mm.
that there are some brothers and sisters, you know, who are interested in getting in on the gains, the profits of this. I have friends who are in this line of shea butter production currently in Tamale, and they can make it happen. They can send you whatever quantity of shea butter you need, for whatever purpose you want to use it, and the market should be out there. Especially for people of African descent, our skin needs to be nourished. We're different. We're not like
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Right.
You you see, so there are certain products that we need more than others, especially if you live in a climate that is cold, super cold, like in the United States and Europe and what have you, and that product is needed. So if there are people who want to go into shea butter, either processing, as in coming down, or liaising with uh, pre-existing companies here to produce and export, then they can get in touch, and we can create some links for them. Uh, there are also a number of wild fruits. Of course, I'm dealing with today. I'm talking about northern Ghana, but there's so much, right? I can't cover everything. Of course, there's cocoa, which is also a big business. Even cashew nut.
Mm-hmm.
Cashew nut is taking over cocoa. It's huge in Ghana, and the profit margins are, pretty, encouraging. And so there's a lot of cashew nut production going on in the forest regions
Mm.
and parts of the savannah. There's a lot of cashew production going on. Again, if you don't necessarily, depends on the, like you did agribusiness,
Yeah.
the value chain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you deal with the value chain, then you can deal with right from the production through to the finished product. And yes, there are ways investors can come in and benefit. You don't necessarily need to be involved in the growing of the cashew. You can market it and still make a profit, you see. So if there are people, again, who want to go into cashew nut production, which again is a very nutritious grain, cereal. Uh, the doors are open and we can make the links happen. Ideally, I would have preferred for the diaspora community to come together
Mm-hmm.
and let us get a company that basically deals with the production, an agricultural company that deals with the production of several crops in Ghana
Mm-hmm.
that uh, we can produce and supply locally and also export and make a profit. you
Oh,
know and some of so we dealt with share, we dealt with cashew, and then there is this the miracle cereal fonio. I don't know if you heard about it.
I have not. No.
Fonio is Senegalese.
Okay.
Well, it's in the West African region, but it's very popular in Senegal. It has these tiny grains, almost like what do you call tapioca.
I think I might have had that for breakfast before. Is it kind of like see in America we'll call like cream of wheat or grits. In fact, I might have a picture. It's on my other computer. I think I ate it for
Yeah,
breakfast before. I think I know what you're talking about. And they put like a kind of like they put like a I don't it's not really milk. They pour something on top of it.
yeah. It's
I don't
like,
like a
are you
cream like it.
familiar with? No, but this one is a cereal, right? And are you familiar with
But it's not
teff?
but it's not like cold cereal. It's served warm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But this is the new super food that is taking the world by a storm, because it's not like those. It's not like corn or any other. It's gluten free, so you
Hmm.
don't end up with the problems you have with other cereals. With high carbohydrate content and starch and what have you. This is gluten free, and it's so good. It's easy to prepare. You can prepare it in under less than 15 minutes, and it's good to go.
Okay.
It's called fonio, Fonio.
No, perfect.
Fonio. If you look it up, you'll see it's a superfood. Honestly, I'm on fonio right now, and the whole day I only ate like once. I only had fonio cereal in the morning, and I was still energetic. It has so much energy.
How do you spell it? One more time.
F
Hmm.
Fonio.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Fonio. So this particular cereal is,
Okay. I see it.
yeah. So it kind of looks like quinoa, if you know quinoa.
Yeah, it kind of
You
looks
know,
like not couscous, but I mean, but yeah, kind of well, not kind of yeah, like quinoa.
yeah. It's a super cereal. It's grown here, but really it's an underground kind of cereal on the low key. But the potential for Fonio to take over the market, even in Ghana, is huge, because this is a cereal you can cook. You can cook it like you cook rice, or any other thing. Those of us in the northern sector, we eat what is called PZ. So we stir
Hmm.
these into a thick pudding, and we have it with soup. Just like in Senegal and Mali. I mean, if you definitely you've been to Dogon country, they have this thick pudding. They turn it into a they put it in a bowl and turn it upside down. They pour soup over it.
Hmm.
The Dogon call it the po. Fonio, they call it po. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you. Are
Yeah,
you ready? Are you ready to answer questions, or just keep going? Just
yeah,
let me know when. Okay.
yeah.
Question from Millinois Warrior. Thank you for the super chat. He wants to know: are there any genetically modified crops in Ghana? He's trying to get away from the fake foods in the
Yeah,
USA.
yeah, this is a debate that is currently going on in Ghana about the plant breeders bill, but yeah, it's not really out there, like as in large scale and what it's still something that the is trying multinational companies, as they try to bully their way in, and then we have a group in Ghana called Food Sovereignty Ghana,
Mhm.
uh, through which we are trying to assert our food sovereignty and say we don't need any people to bring us any GMO and all that. So definitely, there's a lot of organic food in Ghana. There's no doubt. That is the staple, organic.
Mm.
You see, it's just now that the multinational companies through Monsanto and others, they're trying to bring in all of these, but they can't. You can't force people to eat what they don't want to eat.
Right.
It's as simple as that. So this it's like there's a lot of persuasion and people trying to make arguments that if you grow GMO you get higher yields and what have you. But people in Ghana, I believe, are conscious about this, and we do a lot of research on how other countries in the world have refused GMOs and how GMOs are tied to cancer and other sicknesses.
Right.
So definitely not on the scale that it exists elsewhere, where in other parts of the world, from what I understand, there is discrimination in terms of even food supply. The rich people have access to organic food, which is more expensive, and then the poor people have no choice but to buy GMO.
Mm. Mm.
But that's not the case in Ghana, because if you go to the villages, they eat mostly natural food. Even though the system is changing really fast, but people are also becoming conscious also really fast. So
Mm.
it's going to be very hard for certain GMO crops to penetrate because people don't really want that. We want the indigenous local quality.
Mm. Hey, Helena Black, thank you so much. That's what we're here is to make sure you guys, the diaspora, gets the facts on how to navigate in Africa, and also again the objective of Search for Huru is to build a bridge between the diaspora and Africa. So I appreciate that. I'm just Obastan. I hope I pronounced that right. Obastan, thank you, and Zoe Rich. I appreciate it. Obastan wants to know, is moringa cultivation good? I mean, in Ghana, good moringa cultivation.
Yeah, it caught on quite recently, came quite recently. There are quite a number of small enterprises that specialize in moringa in Ghana. So it's catching on, definitely.
All right, cool. And are you keeping up with what's going on in regards to land reform in South Africa?
Yeah, the new president, the new guy who took over from Jacob Zuma wants to expropriate
Right.
land without
Now, do you guys
compensation.
do you guys have any land issues like South Africa and Ghana, or does pretty much it's pretty much
No,
all the
definitely
farmland
not.
owned by Africans?
No, definitely not. We don't have that because in the early years of colonial occupancy, our people, our elders were very educated. They understood the law, and they brought in what is called the Aboriginal rights
Mm-hmm.
legislature, and that was to ensure that the land remained in the hands of the indigenous, the Africans. So we don't have the problem that they have in South Africa.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Let's see. We got a couple more questions. Let me add. Somebody says they have money to invest. They're ready to invest. So I sent them your email address, Weenie. Uh,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get in touch and we can look, because you see that phone, it's super. I'm telling you, it's super. And even, people here are beginning to like, really go for it, because I'm somebody, I don't like, I don't want to take heavy food, like, because it really weighs you down if you take too much starch. So definitely people are starting to want to drop corn and all of those things. So but I know that it has caught on in the new world, in the West. Fonio is definitely the superfood of the world now, the super
Okay.
cereal.
All right, let's see here. We
So
got go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep
so
going.
if yeah, so if they want to link up, and they really want to make investments, then obviously a practical, crop like fonio can be grown here on a large scale, because the land is there, and all, and can make a lot of produce a lot of crops that can be exported, and definitely profit can be made from it.
Hmm. All right, let's see here. Any more questions? All right, so I already answered that. Already asked that. All right, go ahead. Go ahead
Yeah,
and continue.
so Yeah, so I got stuck on Fonio, and I would encourage people to look up Fonio. I know it's in the United States. It might be a bit expensive, but they should try it out, and see what you think about it. So it's a really superfood. Of course, those of us in the savannah, we like millet,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of millet production that goes on up here, because that used to be our staple before corn got introduced. Uh, but some of us, we prefer the smaller grains with less starch and less problems. So millet is also another super grain that grows in West Africa and in Ghana, and that can be used uh, as an economic, you know, tool for investment,
Mhm.
and it can really change things. And of course, we have different varieties of rice in Ghana as well. We have the indigenous rice that is also low in starch, that is really good for your health if you take it. There are a few companies trying to, produce and bag rice here and export it to the diaspora. But, the last time we were having this discussion about why, West Africa and Africa is not growing enough food for even local consumption. But, sometimes you have foreign companies that come in and they produce all right, but they produce to make profit, and so they end up exporting what they
Mhm.
produce. You see, which is cool. But there is also a market for a lot of the products, the crops that I'm talking about. There is a market even in Ghana and West Africa, by extension, and even other parts of Africa. There's one problem with African trade is we don't trade within as much as we trade from outside. I know
Mhm.
that
That's I think that's Africa's. I think that's Africa's problem. All of Africa's problem or issue.
yeah, so new ways can be explored, and new markets can be discovered within Africa itself, because Africa imports a lot of food and it pays for the food. So there's no reason why, if we are producing that food in Africa, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to sell it in Africa first. And of course in other parts of the world, such as the diaspora and all. So obviously, if we have people who, want to invest, definitely there is the platform to uh, discuss in detail, explore in detail as to, which crops to invest in, and, where to get the most out of the investment. You see, so Obviously, of course, rice I did mention, but
Mm-hmm.
even if you go south, there's a lot of what do you call them, citrus fruits, a lot of fruits that of course I know that that becomes a challenge if you are targeting a market in the United States and it's citrus fruits, then you are going to have to compete with fruits coming from the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so obviously that becomes a challenge. But even within Ghana itself, we had a company that came to Tamale quite recently called the Integrated Tamale Food Company, and all they came and did was they came and they invested in mango production. They
Mm-hmm.
brought these new mango breeds, and within a short while they had mangoes, and they were selling. They exported most of them. They exported a lot of mangoes, but even the market, the immediate market, Africa sits in between America and Europe.
Right.
So there is a huge market in Europe for some of these products, especially fruits. But of course, the Europeans want organic. They don't want any GMO.
Right.
You see, so the avenues are there. You know, mango is something that it grows everywhere in the country. You see, we see no reason why uh, we shouldn't have an abundance of it to the extent where we can export and make money, from it. Um, and there are also, a number of other crops such as the citrus fruits, grapes, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them really do well. Even coffee. Coffee is also in high demand in the world, and there are parts of Ghana that are suitable for the growth of coffee in the mountains. I don't know if you got there, but I did mention Eburi. I remember when you were in Ghana, up in the mountains, where the climate is really, really, it's really good
Mm-hmm.
for the production of coffee. You see,
Mm.
and so by and large, there's just so much to do in agriculture in terms of not only production but even in terms of being the middleman, that buys from the farm gate and adds a little value to it and sells it off to make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would really encourage that the diaspora get together a group. It's usually best to have a group effort,
Yes.
you see, and then you have an association, you see, and that association comes and of course you elect a few people to come and do the feasibility studies and all of that and make the investments. But the investments are there, see. So
Somebody wants to know if they want to produce shea or cashews. How much
mhm,
money uh, should they have?
yeah, yeah, of course, that depends on the capacity that you're
Right.
looking at. It depends on how much you want to do. I would be lying if I would want to sit here and give you, figures on that on at this level. But if you're really interested and you get in touch, I can put you in touch with other entities that are doing this here, and you know you could get to those details from here. All I am trying to do is to open up, the avenues, for people who want to come in and do the investments, but to give you an idea as to what to expect or what the expenditure items might be. Of course, you need to pay for the land. Normally, land is leased in Ghana, you know, and of course, when you're farming, it's different. When you're farming, it's not like you're leasing land to buy a house, to build a house, right? Uh, if you're leasing land to build a house, of course, it's going to cost you more than if you're leasing land to grow crops. Why? Because the house is more permanent. The crops, not so, because within a year you can vacate the land,
Hmm.
right? So when you go to a person to lease you land to do agriculture, the terms are, a bit different, and they are more lenient than if you needed the property or the land to build a permanent structure such as a house, what have you. So obviously you need to get permission to use land for farming, and usually the land is in the hands of the people, the families, and the chiefs, the royals. But most land that I know is in the hands of chiefs and families. They are the owners of the land. The government doesn't own any land in Ghana. They also go to the chiefs and the individuals for land.
Okay.
You see, so the land is one component that you should anticipate. I cannot give you a figure, but obviously you should anticipate land. You should anticipate the seeds to do the cropping, and then you anticipate the management of the farm. The day-to-day management of the farm until the cashew is done. But cashew produces trees. These little plants that produce every year. So you don't need to plant every year. If you plant cashew, it becomes a permanent, more or less a bit permanent in terms of the plant. It stays there, and every year it bears fruits, and you can harvest that. So cashew is definitely one of the most sought after crops in Ghana. It has overtaken cocoa now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so those are the expenditure items that you should look forward to: maintenance, land, and seeds, for the initial investment.
Okay, cool. Let's see what other questions we got in the chat room. Let me see here. What other questions we got in the chat room? Um, yeah. So people are saying they're gonna reach out to you in regards to the, to get specifics in regards to the
Yeah.
investment opportunity in the
Yeah.
chat room. So a lot of people said they're gonna reach out to you. Um,
But definitely,
so let me ask you. So Nzinga wants to know the rice you were talking about. Is it brown rice or wild rice?
we have wild rice here.
Okay.
Obviously, we also have brown rice.
Okay.
You see, there's a whole variety of rice because we, are consumers of a lot of cereal. A lot of cereal grows up north. Just to give you an idea, the rice production zone in Ghana is mostly in parts of the Volta region,
Mm-hmm.
northern parts of the Volta region, the northern region, certain parts of the Brong-Ahafo region, and so it's in the savannah mostly because the land is favorable. Rice likes water, and so a lot of the land in the savannah holds water. We
Mm-hmm.
have clay lands that hold water, so it's very good for rice production. Even just behind my house right now, they grow rice. Just behind my house, every year there's rice being grown around. Definitely wild rice is in there. You know, um, yeah, but I think that that's the essence of having the group is you need to market some of these things based on their health benefits.
Mm-hmm. And
There's no need. Mhm.
someone in the chat room wants to know: do you do farming or invest in agricultural projects yourself?
Yeah, I do. I've been saying I keep a garden that I'm diligently keeping. I eat my own vegetables, you know, which is very important to me. I grow some fruits as well, such as mango, pawpaw, or
Hmm.
papaya, banana. Yeah, so definitely, but not on the scale that I would have wished for because that requires financial investment. So I really wish I had enough funds to do big farms, but I don't at the moment. So
Okay.
that's the whole essence of getting investors, and like we are down here, we can deal with issues of acquiring land, and maintaining the farm, you know, so that can be easily dealt with down here by our contacts. You see.
Hmm.
So there's kind of a partnership going on.
Hmm. See, we got any more? See, we got any more questions in the chat room? Uh, type this real quick. Any other questions in the chat room, fam? Are you against manipulating plant genes for better nutriments or nutrients?
I don't really the whole idea of mankind producing or manipulating plants or any animal or organism for that matter, I'm not really for it.
Okay.
Because if man were able to do that, then man would be God.
Hmm.
You see, because we don't have the power because we are not nature. We are a product of nature.
Okay.
We don't have the power. Improvements that we can make is to deal with the crop management, such as good agricultural practices, ensuring that plants get the most nutrients they can get out of the soil and what have you. But to genetically modify crops or even alter certain aspects of them, the genes and so it's not really something that I'm in support of because when I look at a lot of what is going on in that area, we're messing up with the nutrient contents. Uh, for instance, mango that grows wild here, wild mango in Ghana,
Hmm.
is more nutritious than the genetically modified mango, which is larger. You get a larger fruit, but
Hmm.
it's so full of sugar that if you were to keep consuming, you consume a lot of that, you would get diabetes.
Mm.
But most natural plants, most natural mangoes cannot give you diabetes.
Mm.
If you consume a natural mango produced by nature, you cannot get diabetes. So a lot of these, modifications come at a cost because and the driving force for these modifications is to get higher yields, to get more. That has been the
Mm.
drive for it. And it has cost us the nutrient content. It's never the same. It's diminished.
Mm.
So I'm definitely not in support of that. What we need to do, most people keep talking of, we need all of this and that. If you come to Ghana and you've traveled Africa, there's a lot of land lying there wasting. And people are not they're not farming on these lands. So the problem in Africa is not that we don't have the right, what do you call it, breeds, in terms of genetic breeds of crops. It's just that we don't have the required amount of investment in agricultural production. We need more farming, so to speak. We need to farm more, which we're not doing. You see, I even forgot to mention, another super nutritious aspect of agriculture in Ghana, which is mushrooms.
Okay.
Man, this mushroom is the thing. Look, when you consume mushroom, you boil, like I'm talking of local mushroom. I'm not talking of these fluffy, what do you call them, genetically produced. Talking of local mushroom. When you boil mushroom and you put it down, set it down with the water, or you strain the water and let it cool, and you drink it, man, you get energized immediately. Uh it's so nutritious. Look, you could go a whole day on mushroom alone, and you
Mm.
have enough, so much energy. So yeah, all of these avenues are there. There's even honey production that is also wild honey. I'm not talking about a genetically produced bee. I'm talking of wild bees in the forest.
Mm. Hey,
That
somebody was Seth Poku wants to know. Hold on. Where's the question at? Come on, Seth. How do you feel about government's planting food for jobs program? Does he know anyone who has signed up for the program? He's Ghanaian too. Are you familiar with this program? You there, Winnie? Hello, Winnie. Hope we didn't lose you. I hope we did not lose the brother Winnie. But everybody, thank you so much for coming on. People that super chatted, thank you so much for super chatting. Do me a favor. Let's see here. Zoe Rich, I need your address so I can send you a card, a postcard. You will get a postcard. So please email me your home address so I can send this to you. Holona, I need your email address as well. Obastan, I need your email address as well. Already got you, John. Uh, Melanoid Warrior, have I sent you a postcard yet? If not, email me your address so I can get you a postcard out. So make sure you guys give me your email addresses so I can get you a postcard out. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if we lost a Winnie or not, but a couple things in the works. I am working on the Africa Personified site. I need to go ahead and knock that out. So guys, do me a favor. All right, I'm gonna post 2 templates in the actual chat. That's template number 1, and then let me post template number 2. Okay, I just need to know which one you guys like the best for the Africa Personified site. So basically, it's gonna just showcase the photography, the stories behind them. I'm gonna be selling prints on there. Um, so I'm putting it all together. So make sure you I didn't know that, Sultan. Uh, email is search for uhuru at gmail.com. Oh, Winnie, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. The line just but on the planting for food and jobs, yes, I'm familiar with the program. It's a good program because it not only seeks to increase the food security in Ghana, but also it seeks to create jobs for those who are enrolled in the program. But
Hey, Winnie,
again,
Winnie, your camera is pointed to the ceiling. So if you want to show it to your
oh,
face
sorry,
or yeah, I just put it.
I
Or
need
if
to
you want
shut it.
everybody. Well, it's working fine.
I
So
need
if you want people to see you, they can see you. If not, you can shut it off. If it starts acting up, then you can shut it off. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, so the planting for food and jobs is good. It does not only create jobs for the youth, but also improves the food sovereignty in Ghana. But again, the problems when initiatives is
Yeah, when you got to turn your camera off, family.
it's not something that has a lot of money sitting on.
Hey,
Yeah,
you got to turn off your camera. It's starting to act up again.
Yeah, so I turned it off.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a good program. Just that a lot of money is needed to see it through. Uh, a lot of times, the problems we have with government funded programs is that uh, they start them for political expediency, and they don't follow through. And so you start it, but it doesn't last long.
Mhm.
So I hope it does well, but again, we have to really look at what it entails in terms of what kinds of crops we are growing. We must ensure that we are not growing GMO, because I'm definitely not in support of GMO,
Mhm.
and so I really hope that we're not growing, you know, those crops, that are bad for our health. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. So, so uh, to sum it up, there are two groups of investments in the agricultural sector that can be made, right? Uh, you have the local investment targeted at the local market, which again can be done by the diaspora, of course, to sell to the local market and make a profit off of it. Because it's not everything that you should export or can export. Uh, so that group mostly consists of foods that are consumed in Ghana that uh, are in high demand, and the production or supply is very low. That's one aspect. And then agricultural products that are good for the external, markets, that's for export. Like I was advocating, the fonio is definitely, it's a must for any group that wants to go into serious investment. Definitely link up. Let's do some fonio production.
Mm.
It's quite straightforward. It doesn't really demand much in terms of like care, because it's a wild cereal. Most wild cereals produced by nature, they don't need you to pamper them in order for them to grow. They usually do well, with just a little care. You see, so the group that is for export, of course, that can be seriously looked at in terms of what is in demand on the international market, and of course, what can be introduced into the international market. You see, and that can be done. For instance, the issue of having ranches
Mm.
in Ghana is still new
Okay.
in a lot of
When you say ranch, like what type of ranch in particular? Like cows, like a
any ranch,
okay.
any ranch.
Okay.
Why? Because we still depend on people like, individual peasant farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I have a goat, I keep it in my little, pen in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and when I need some money, I go and I sell it.
Mm.
That's what Ghana is still depending on for its supply of meat.
Mm-hmm.
But what we really need at this point is, because we have a lot of problems with uh, uh, Fulani farmers, cattle herders.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there. What's going on with the Fulani? Because they're just causing problems everywhere. Like, what's the issue behind that?
Yeah, from what I understand, the Fulani culturally, and they're all over West Africa.
Right.
I think they are the largest group in West Africa,
Makes
because
sense.
they're in virtually every country.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and
Everywhere.
they're nomadic. they're nomadic, and their main occupation is cattle herding,
Mm-hmm.
and because that is their main occupation, people employ them to just keep cattle for them. Like to be a cowboy,
Right.
right? So they also they in turn are not able to control the cattle as well, and a lot of times they end up destroying people's crops, and then
Right.
people get really mad with that,
Right.
and that's at the root of the matter. Some people are arguing, they're blaming Fulani cattle herders of intentionally letting their cattle graze in their farms, which I don't know that how true that is, but that is the accusation. And so, when people grow their hectares or of farms, because that's investment, of course, and the next day you come and a lot of it is grazed by cattle, you get mad. And so usually they end up attacking, you know, the cattle herders, Fulanis.
Mm-hmm. So you think that's why a lot of these Fulanis have started, I guess, carrying out attacks? Or now they said that Fulani is supposed to be linked to a lot of radical Islam, in quotation marks, radical Islam. You think is out of
Yeah,
protection, or what's the reason behind that?
yeah, because they also believe they need to protect themselves,
Right.
uh, rightfully so, because they get attacked by indigenous people who become angry. You see, it's a I would say it's an ethnic problem. That is just beyond is beyond the cattle herding, because there are other accusations that Fulanis are involved in robbery and, of course, other social vices such as raping of women, which is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That we know here, but it's not. It's difficult to paint them all with one brush.
Right. Yeah.
Some of them I've met some that are very humble. I'm friends. Like if you come to northern Ghana, we have it's very mixed, and we have a lot of Fulani people here who settle here,
Mm-hmm.
and we are very related. Like most of us, like in northern Ghana, we are very related culturally to the Fulani and the Hausa, and so on. So sometimes it's difficult to espouse these, sometimes ethnocentric sentiments. But I wouldn't want to paint them all with one brush. But it's definitely a problem in West Africa, because for some reason the Fulani get into trouble mainly with their cattle,
Right.
and it has to do with their cattle grazing in people's farms.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the chat. Again, I want this platform to be the number one resource for the diaspora who's interested in Africa, and then for Africans who are interested in reaching back out to the diaspora. Hold on, I like to do. Hold on, let me get this guy on here.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second. I want to send him the link to
Mhm.
the not the actual chat, but the not to get on, but to see what we're talking about. But yeah, but go ahead. You have the floor. Go ahead and you know, close
So
out
yeah, so
or whatnot.
so yeah, so it's good that we begin to look at how we can do real investments, because I'm somebody that gets really impatient with a lot of talking and little action.
Right. Me too.
Uh,
Me too.
yeah, so I you notice, like, I don't really want to spend too much energy talking while we don't get much done. So uh, let's do real investments, and the space is there to make it happen. There are certain crops that grow only in West Africa, and the world needs these crops, such as the fonio. The fonio is big now,
Mhm.
and we could, create a market worldwide for these products. Everybody should take fonio. Everybody should consume it. It's a wonderful. I'm surprised. I only recently discovered it through, who Dr. Sebi. Can you imagine?
Oh, now I got to get you connected with Dr. Sabi's son, right? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Let me do that right
I
now.
got yeah. So I got connected to it through a lecture I listened. Dr. Sebi's lecture, and I listened very carefully, and I began to do a lot of digging, and I discovered, it's in my own backyard, and I wasn't even aware of this. You
Mhm.
see, so there's a lot of information out there that we don't know.
So
And
did you talk to to Philip?
no, I did not. I did not. I only listened to a lecture of Dr. Sebi, and he made mention of the fonio being a good
Okay, okay. Let me.
alkali. Fonio is a good alkali cereal, and I began to dig, and I found out, wow, you know, we have a small group here that does it in Tamale. So I went out and I got some, you know, just yesterday, which was very nice, and I had it today, and I'm still active. See, so let's do some real investments. Uh, Ghana is rife with agricultural, avenues where investors can get together and everybody can be happy. So if we have a group, even if it's not a group and you are an individual who thinks you have the funds that you could, come into partnership down here to produce or to even buy, at the farm gate and market, then we need to get in touch and make stuff happen.
Okay. All right. Let me.
Because
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and continue. I'm sorry.
I forgot to mention, of course, there's another meat here that is also nice, the guinea fowl. I know you're familiar with guinea fowl
Yeah,
because you
that's
come.
okay. Now, guinea fowl's not turkey. Like, what exactly is it? Or is it
It,
turkey?
it's a No, it's not turkey. Guinea fowl is a wild,
Like
you
bird,
know,
wild bird.
bird,
Yeah.
and the reason it's good is it does not have fat. It's not as fatty as a fowl or a chicken. It's chewy, and it's healthier than chicken actually. You see,
Mm.
and so definitely there are ways these can be packaged and sent all over the world. Just like right now, we are importing chicken to Ghana. So there are ways this can be packaged and marketed. It's very, very good. Guinea fowl is very
I've
good.
had it before.
You
I had it
know,
in Mali. I had it in Senegal.
yeah.
I've had it a couple times, but when I had the first time I had it was when I was in Mali. They cooked it in like this
Mhm.
onion sauce. Oh, it was so good.
Mhm. Yeah. So it's very, very good, very nutritious. Uh, you know, and this is an avenue that is so easy to produce here. You don't even need to export it. The Ghanaian market is huge for guinea fowl. Everybody loves it.
Hmm.
All that is needed is the investment to have a farm. Uh, we could get somebody to breed the guinea fowls, and we have a constant supply. The market is not even met by even up to 10% now. There's such a huge market for guinea fowl at the moment. And a guinea fowl at the moment in Ghana goes for, if it's really big, a big guinea fowl goes for about 30 to 40 CDs.
That's nothing.
You know,
That's nothing.
yeah, but you see, but even in Ghana, if you keep it in Ghana, you produce in Ghana, that's a lot of money, like to make per guinea fowl, because the exchange rate is about 4 times.
Right, 4 times the
So
US dollar, 4 to 5 times. Yeah.
so yeah, so about $10 per guinea fowl, right? And it's good business in Ghana. But even if you want to export, again, of course, you have to factor in the cost of transportation, shipping, and all. But it'll still be reasonable for people to afford. Mhm. So let's get in touch and see what we can do.
Well,
And
Winnie,
so
I've already gotten several emails as we're speaking, so I'm going to be forwarding these people to you. Okay.
okay. So
Yeah.
uh,
So.
yeah, I can make the context,
Mhm.
and a lot can take place
Right.
right now.
Mhm.
Mm. So I'd like to thank everybody, and thanks for being on here, and hope to see you again on another show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Awini. We appreciate it, man. Everybody loves you. You and Professor Davis, but
Mm.
you are everybody's favorite, Awini. You are Tam. If you know anybody,
Yeah, I
if you
love
know, go
everybody too.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, I appreciate everybody too, and let's keep in touch and see how we can help ourselves. That's all we're trying to do here.
Okay, absolutely. All right,
Mm.
everybody. Thank you so much for coming on. Tam, if you know somebody who's searer, I think that's how you say the tribe. Have them reach out to me. But everybody, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure you guys subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the page, make sure you share the page as well. Share the videos, guys. Please share the videos. I mean, let's get the word out. Because I think my platform. I'm sorry. Our platform is very unique. I don't see anybody else doing what we're doing. So please share the platform, get the word out to people who are serious. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you go to search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, make sure you go to search for Uhuru.com. Go to Amazon.com, search your name, Dynasty Samir. Please buy a book. And also go to DynastySamir.com as well. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. I will be back on probably tomorrow, but for sure Friday, coming on Friday. Somebody wanted to set the record straight on Somalia, so I'm bringing him on Friday. So again, everybody, I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. The link I was putting that you guys can pull up, that I was putting in the Uhuru means peace. The link that I was putting, Zinga, I didn't put my email address in here like 5 times, Zinga. All right, the links I were putting in here, Zinga, is right there. I've typed it 5 times, sister. I did type my email address 5 times. You see it is right there. All right. The links I are putting in the that I put in the chat room that you guys can pull up was for the let me freedom. I'm tripping. Was for the Africa Personified site. So I wanted to get your guys' opinion on which templates look the best. But anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for coming on. Uhuru means freedom. I'm tripping. I'll be back on for sure Friday, hopefully tomorrow. So the next time, peace.